So look, every platform on the planet was busy watching Drake post, Drake perform, Drake parade, Drake pose, Drake podcast, Drake polarize, and Drake price drop his own catalog for another shot at trending. And while every camera in the industry was locked on Drake the Toronto ringmaster, Kendrick Lamar slipped into a room with no press badges, no red carpet, no leaked photo. Kendrick Lamar sat across from the NBA Players Association. Kendrick sat across from Kyrie Irving. Kendrick sat across from Stephen Curry. And Kendrick Lamar closed a deal so violent to the balance of power in modern culture that the entire chessboard is about to get flipped, wiped, and reassembled around his fingerprints. And here is the detonator. Drake is reportedly livid, not annoyed, not disappointed, livid. Because one of the men who has been photographed shoulder to shoulder with Drake for over a decade just stepped onto a global stage and picked the pgLang canvas over the OVO gold. On camera, on purpose, with a smirk. So read that line twice, lock your jaw, and let me walk you through what actually happened. Because this is not a song, this is not a diss, this is not a beef. This is a silent coup wearing a grin. For months, the same three-word sentence has echoed through every barbershop, every podcast, every group chat, every comment section, every reaction video, and every algorithm farming YouTube page in the entire hip-hop ecosystem. Where is Kendrick? No interviews, no tweets, no I'm outside energy, no staged paparazzi runs, no album rollout theatrics, no press tour circus. Drake's loudest fans called it fear. The gatekeepers called it laziness. The casual listeners called it irrelevance. The engagement farmers called it career suicide. Every single one of them was wrong. And I mean the kind of wrong that gets written into the history books with a red pen. Because while the internet refreshed its feed waiting for Kendrick Lamar to slip up, Kendrick Lamar was not hiding. Kendrick Lamar was welding. Kendrick Lamar was blueprinting. Kendrick Lamar was wiring together a structural weapon so complete that no rapper in this generation is built to withstand it. And now, the paperwork is on the table for anyone with eyes to see it. Kendrick Lamar has quietly become one of the most powerful operators in music, in sports, in media, and in ownership economics, all at once. Not a celebrity, not an artist, not a face on a bottle, an executive, a builder, an institution. Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free, through their company Project 3 Agency, just formalized a partnership with the NBA Players Association. And before you assume you know what that phrase means, stop. This is not a song placement. This is not a sponsorship. This is not a needle drop over highlight reels. This is not Kendrick Lamar rapping on a 30-second commercial. This is architecture. The players are launching their own company, by them, for them, engineered to cut every parasite in a suit out of the flow of their income. The brand is called Players United, and it is a direct-to-consumer platform designed so that NBA athletes can finally own their products, own their image rights, own their ventures, and own their revenue streams without begging permission from any middleman on the planet. And out of every advertising holding company in Manhattan, every Beverly Hills brand consultancy, every Madison Avenue agency, every Hollywood studio with a sports division, the athletes walked past all of them, silently, one by one, and put Kendrick Lamar in the chair. Let that land. There is a line from inside the partnership that tells you everything. It says, if you think about any artist who is authentically himself and goes directly to his fans, no one does it better than Kendrick Lamar.
That sentence is not a compliment. That sentence is a blueprint endorsement. The players did not want a face. The players did not want a jingle. The players wanted a model they could study, disassemble, and rebuild inside their own ecosystem. And the model they picked was Kendrick Lamar. Now the next question is the one nobody has asked properly. Who actually opened the door? Who built the bridge from pgLang to the hardwood? Because deals of this weight do not happen by accident. They require trust, and trust requires a name. The name is Kyrie Irving. Yes, that Kyrie Irving. The same Kyrie Kendrick Lamar name-dropped on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. The same Kyrie who has spent an entire decade refusing to be owned by any league, any broadcaster, any narrative he did not personally sign off on. Kyrie Irving connected with Kendrick Lamar long before any of this leaked to the public. Kyrie Irving is the voice narrating the short film that is launching the entire partnership. And here is where the story sharpens, because that film is not premiering on ESPN. It is not premiering on TNT. It is not running in an all-star weekend pregame bumper. It is premiering at Cannes. Cannes, the film festival. The same red carpet where Scorsese, the Coens, and Tarantino have unveiled their work. That is where the NBA Players Association is unveiling Players United, with Kyrie Irving narrating and Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free directing the entire creative identity behind it. This is not a basketball announcement. This is a cultural event with a basketball Trojan horse folded inside it. And the visuals? The visuals look pulled straight from Kendrick Lamar's GNX playbook. Same warm, dust-soaked color grading, same patient wide shots, same haunting stillness between edits, same refusal to talk down to the audience. If you have seen the Luther video with Kendrick and SHZA, or the Good Flirts video Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free directed for Baby Keem, you will recognize the fingerprints on the glass. Same hand, same eye, same room. Kendrick Lamar is not lending his name to the NBA. Kendrick Lamar is stamping his DNA into the league's marketing bloodstream. Now dim the lights, because this is where the room gets uncomfortable. The short film features a roster of the most marketable athletes alive: Stephen Curry, Jalen Brunson, Jaylen Brown, Karl Anthony Towns, Gabe Vincent, and several more names hip-hop will be forced to reckon with in the coming weeks. But one of those names is quietly rearranging the entire conversation: Stephen Curry. Because sources from inside the industry are saying Drake is not okay. Not quietly disappointed, not politely bothered, genuinely upset. Stephen Curry has spent an entire decade folded into Drake's orbit. The OVO photo ops, the courtside cameos, the friendly interviews, the Toronto to Warriors pipeline. That alliance was one of the last high-visibility sports bridges Drake still owned. And Stephen Curry just stood next to Kyrie Irving, narrated by a man Drake openly resents, on a film built by Kendrick Lamar, premiering at Cannes, branded pgLang, and unveiled to the whole planet in a single coordinated drop. That is not a business decision. That is a public verdict. In this culture, a cap can outweigh 100 singles, a jersey can outweigh 100 features, a photo op can outweigh 100 press cycles. And when Stephen Curry chose the pgLang canvas in front of the world, he said something the industry is still afraid to say out loud. Stephen Curry chose the builder over the performer. Stephen Curry chose the architecture over the aesthetic. Stephen Curry chose Kendrick Lamar. And believe me, Drake noticed. You had better believe Drake noticed. Pull the lens back, and the contrast is savage. Drake is dropping 3 albums a year just to remain in the algorithm's peripheral vision.
Drake is trading equity in his own catalog for short-term liquidity. Drake is on Instagram every waking hour, performing for the feed, posting gym footage, posting hotel selfies, posting whatever screenshot will earn one more push notification. Now flip the frame. What is Kendrick Lamar doing? Kendrick Lamar owns his record label. Kendrick Lamar owns his production shop. Kendrick Lamar owns pgLang outright. Kendrick Lamar owns Project 3 Agency outright. Kendrick Lamar owns his catalog, his image rights, his creative direction, his cinematic language, and now his structural alignment with the most powerful union in professional sports. While Drake chases the spotlight, Kendrick Lamar is purchasing the ground the spotlight is bolted to. While Drake battles for streams, Kendrick Lamar is engineering generational wealth. While Drake reminds the world he still exists, Kendrick Lamar is reminding the world what actual power looks like when it stops asking for permission. This is not a rap beef anymore. This stopped being a rap beef the instant Stephen Curry crossed the room. This is a philosophy war. This is a blueprint war. This is a fight between two completely opposing definitions of what a hip-hop artist in 2026 is even supposed to be. And one of the two definitions is winning by miles. And here is the part nobody on the OVO side wants to admit into a live microphone. Kendrick Lamar is becoming this generation's Jay-Z, but with one undeniable modification. Jay-Z built an empire, and nobody is denying that. but the load-bearing beams of Jay-Z's empire, the touring engine, the management arm, the sports agency, are still tethered to giant corporate parents. Roc Nation is threaded through Live Nation. Tidal was tethered to Sprint and then dissolved into Square. Jay-Z had to play inside the corporate machine to win. Kendrick Lamar did not. pgLang and Project 3 Agency are not joint ventures. They are not licensing deals dressed up as partnerships. They are not subsidiaries hiding behind a friendly logo. They are fully owned, fully independent, fully self-contained. Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free are not employees of the system. Kendrick Lamar and Dave Free are the system. That is why this NBA deal detonates at a level most observers have not processed yet. It is not Kendrick Lamar joining a corporation. It is the corporation walking up to Kendrick Lamar and asking for a seat at his table. The Players Association did not bring Kendrick Lamar in to dress up an announcement. The Players Association came to Kendrick Lamar to learn how to build what he has already built. Take Jay-Z's business intelligence, add Kanye West's creative ambition, subtract Kanye's chaos, subtract Jay-Z's corporate handcuffs, subtract every compromise either of them ever had to sign to get through a boardroom door. What is left, distilled, refined, and quietly weaponized, is Kendrick Lamar. That is the executive Kendrick Lamar is turning into. That is the version Drake has no counter for, no diss for, no album for, no press cycle for. And here is the truth the rest of hip-hop is not built to say. Most rappers are not ready to walk down this road with Kendrick Lamar. Most rappers want the chain over the catalog. Most rappers want the feature over the ownership. Most rappers want the splash over the spreadsheet. Most rappers want the moment over the decade. So Kendrick Lamar looked around the genre, saw the comfort, saw the label dependency, saw the same recycled marketing playbook getting stapled to every rollout, and Kendrick Lamar walked out. Kendrick Lamar walked into the NBA, where the athletes are starving for autonomy, starving for ownership, starving to build something that outlives the contract on their back. If hip-hop refuses to follow Kendrick Lamar, the athletes will. If rappers will not take the risk, the ball players will.
If the genre is stuck in 2014, the league will drag the next decade forward without hip-hop's blessing. That is the message Kendrick Lamar just fired across the industry. And every rapper currently signing a 360 deal with a major should be terrified, because Kendrick Lamar has just redrawn the map of what is possible, and most of the genre is standing on the wrong side of the new border. Zoom in on something the mainstream coverage will absolutely gloss over: the visual language of this rollout. The Cannes film uses the warm gold and dust palette Kendrick Lamar leaned into on GNX. The camera does not move the way sports commercials move. There are no whip pans, there are no aggressive beat cuts, there is no Gatorade adrenaline grammar. Instead, there are slow holds, there is patience, there are wide shots that let the players sit inside the frame and breathe. There is a deliberate refusal to condescend to the audience. That is the Kendrick Lamar formula. That is the Dave Free formula. That is the pgLang doctrine. And it is the polar opposite of how the NBA has been marketed for 2 decades, which means this partnership is not just creative, it is a philosophical rupture. The league, through its players, is officially abandoning the hyper-edited Jordan, Nike, Gatorade grammar that has defined its packaging since the 1990s, and replacing it with something that behaves like cinema: a film by Kendrick Lamar, a film by Dave Free, a film for the players, not for the sponsors. And once you see that, you understand exactly why Drake is reported to be furious. Drake spent the last 10 years trying to convert the NBA into his personal marketing arm. Courtside, locker room, after party, music drop. That pipeline used to be Drake's pipeline. And Kendrick Lamar just walked in, did not ask, did not post, did not diss, and quietly rerouted the pipeline into his own building. That is not a diss track. That is not a battle rap. That is a hostile acquisition disguised as a smile. Sit with the timing for a second, because timing is the invisible weapon Kendrick Lamar keeps deploying. Kendrick Lamar did not announce this partnership on the eve of a Drake album. Kendrick Lamar did not chain the reveal to a viral moment. Kendrick Lamar dropped it into a clearing on the media calendar that nobody else was using. Off-season NBA news cycle wide open. Cannes generating its own headlines. Fashion press already circling. Sports press hungry for a culturally significant story. Kendrick Lamar walked the story into an empty corridor and let it echo. That is the move of an operator who has studied media physics. That is the move of an executive who understands how attention compounds. Meanwhile, every Drake rollout in the last 18 months has fought for oxygen against something. Against a Kendrick Lamar headline, against a Kendrick Lamar award, against a Kendrick Lamar Super Bowl, against a Kendrick Lamar tour announcement. Drake keeps shouting into a room where Kendrick Lamar is already repainting the walls. Now stack the next layer, the Kyrie Irving connection. Kyrie Irving is not a random cosign. Kyrie Irving is a thesis statement in sneakers. Kyrie Irving is the single most ideologically aligned superstar Kendrick Lamar could have picked as the bridge into professional basketball. Kyrie Irving owns his brand decisions. Kyrie Irving owns his media presence. Kyrie Irving owns his footwear line. Kyrie Irving is, inside the NBA, the closest analog to what Kendrick Lamar is inside hip-hop. So when Kyrie Irving narrates the film, and when Kyrie Irving pulls Stephen Curry and Jalen Brunson and Jaylen Brown and Karl Anthony Towns into the frame, what Kyrie Irving is really doing is handing Kendrick Lamar the one currency money cannot manufacture: locker room credibility.
Locker room credibility is what Drake has been trying to counterfeit for 15 years and never quite pulled off, because Drake was always the visitor, never the resident. Kyrie Irving turned Kendrick Lamar into a resident. That is a permanent status upgrade. Zoom further out. Years from now, when business schools sit down to teach the case study of how athletes finally seized the economic controls of their own labor in the 2020s, they will not be writing chapters about who had the catchier single in 2024. They will be diagramming the room where Kendrick Lamar, Dave Free, Kyrie Irving, Stephen Curry, and the NBA Players Association agreed to build a direct-to-consumer economy together. They will be studying Project 3 agency. They will be reverse engineering pgLang. They will be tracing how Kendrick Lamar refused every offer from every legacy institution and built his own institution instead. And the rappers who signed away their catalogs while Kendrick Lamar was building this, they will be the footnotes in those chapters, not the headlines, the footnotes. Drake is by any commercial metric the most successful rapper of his era. Nobody is taking that away from Drake. But commercial success and cultural ownership are two different currencies, and Kendrick Lamar has just made that distinction painfully public. Drake has the streams, Kendrick Lamar has the structure. Drake has the trophies, Kendrick Lamar has the building. And as history stretches forward, the building always outlasts the trophies. That is not opinion, that is arithmetic. Think about what the NBA Players Association actually is for a second. This is the union. This is the collective voice of every superstar, veteran, rookie, and role player under contract in the league. This is the room that negotiates against billion-dollar ownership groups. This is where labor power in professional sports concentrates into a single fist. And that room just decided that the creative partner most aligned with its interests is Kendrick Lamar. Not a sports marketing firm, not a major label, not a global advertising holding company. Kendrick Lamar. That is a signal flare visible from every locker room on Earth. The NFL is watching. Major League Baseball is watching. The WNBA is watching. The Premier League is watching. UFC is watching. Formula One is watching. Every player association on the planet is watching. And the next time one of them decides to launch a direct-to-consumer venture, whose phone is going to ring first? Kendrick Lamar's phone, Dave Free's phone, pgLang's phone, Project 3's phone. That is what a turbine looks like. Kendrick Lamar just spun up a turbine that once it starts rotating, never stops, and every rotation pulls more power, more credibility, more capital, and more cultural gravity into Kendrick Lamar's universe and out of everyone else's. Drake does not have a turbine. Drake has a treadmill. Those are not the same machine. A treadmill demands Drake wake up every morning and feed it. A turbine feeds itself. A turbine enriches its owner while its owner sleeps. A turbine is the mechanical difference between a career and an empire. Kendrick Lamar is no longer running a career. Kendrick Lamar is running an empire. So where does this leave the game? It leaves us at a moment where Kendrick Lamar has, without a press conference, without a magazine cover, without a single tweet, quietly rewired the wiring diagram between hip-hop and the NBA. It leaves us at a moment where the most influential athletes on earth chose a rapper not for his catalog, but for his blueprint.
It leaves us at a moment where Drake is reportedly stewing in a room somewhere while Kendrick Lamar is being framed by Can, by the Players Association, by Stephen Curry, by Kyrie Irving, and by an entire generation of athletes who would rather build with Kendrick Lamar than be marketed by Drake. This is what a quiet coup looks like. This is what a man who refuses to perform looks like. This is what generational power looks like when it stops chasing attention and starts purchasing the room the attention is standing in. And here is the final truth nobody in the industry is going to print on a front page. Kendrick Lamar did not disappear. Kendrick Lamar did not go silent because Kendrick Lamar lost. Kendrick Lamar went silent because Kendrick Lamar was busy building something that Drake, with all the money, all the streams, all the platforms, all the reach, and all the engagement metrics on the internet, has no functional counter for. Kendrick Lamar did not need a diss track for this round. Kendrick Lamar let the business do the talking. Kendrick Lamar let the ownership structure do the talking. Kendrick Lamar let Kyrie Irving, Stephen Curry, the NBA Players Association, Project 3 Agency, pgLang, Cans, and Dave Free do the talking. While Drake is still trying to win the next 24-hour news cycle, Kendrick Lamar is winning the next 20 years. This is not beef anymore. This is a takeover. And the only people still pretending otherwise are the ones trying to sell you the fantasy that a streaming chart is the same as a legacy. It is not. It never was. And Kendrick Lamar just proved it in public with the entire NBA Players Association standing behind him like a shield wall. So tell me where you land on this. Drop it in the comments below. Has Kendrick Lamar officially outrun Drake for good? Or do you believe Drake is sitting on a response none of us can see coming yet? Because there is a legitimate argument that Drake now has to reply with something bigger than a song, and none of us know what that would even look like. And while you are turning that over in your head, do me one thing. Hit the like button if this video handed you a piece of the story you were not getting anywhere else. Tap subscribe so you get the truth before the rest of the internet catches up. And ring the bell because the next chapter of the Kendrick Lamar story is loading, and you do not want to be the last person in your group chat to find out. This is hip-hop. This is power. This is the exact instant the chessboard flipped and the world realized the pieces had already been repositioned. His name is Kendrick, and he is not playing the same game as Drake anymore. He is playing a game Drake has not even read the instructions for. We are only getting started. Stay locked in. But before you swipe away, ask yourself one more question. If Kendrick Lamar has done all of this without dropping a verse, without shooting a vlog, without doing a single press run, and without saying a single word into a microphone, what happens when Kendrick Lamar actually decides to speak again? Think about it. Kendrick Lamar rewrote the NBA's economic blueprint during a silent season. Kendrick Lamar pulled Kyrie Irving and Stephen Curry into the same frame. Kendrick Lamar got a basketball announcement premiered at Cannes. Kendrick Lamar redrew the lines of a culture war Drake did not realize had already been redrawn. And Kendrick Lamar did all of that during the year hip-hop openly labeled Kendrick Lamar's quiet year. So what happens when the quiet year ends? What happens when the album lands? What happens when the tour opens? What happens when pgLang announces its next signing, its next film, its next direct-to-consumer launch? What happens when Dave Free pulls another visual out of the GNX universe and drops it into a campaign nobody has seen the pitch deck for?